Hey guys, what's up? It's Schlaw coming back to ya with another episode of Walks with Schlaw. And I didn't know if I was gonna do a lunchtime one because I still my portions for my beef got kind of messed up this week, and I think it's because I skipped one meal, and then now it's like I've way too much as a result of that. And yeah, so things have been off. So I did have like quite a bit to eat, but for whatever reason, I was just able to tear through it like pretty fast. I mean, I know I wanted to slow down my eating, but I just don't. I mean, I just felt like doing that. So yeah, it's probably not great though. I should I've just always been like a fast eater, but I've been more mindful of it because I know it's technically healthier to eat slower. So it's such an optimization crunch for me because on one hand, eating it as fast as possible is incredibly beneficial when it comes to just like living. I mean, it's like the same as like charging speed with a phone. I mean, having a battery be able to charge faster is just an inherent advantage. But then at the same time, it can be worse for the battery. It can be a worse stress on the battery. I mean, in my case, I actually still prefer to use the 5 watt slow charger, just because it does cause the phone to have a lower temperature. And I think, in my opinion, it's just for the best that it does that. So that's just my opinion. But anyways, not entirely remembering what I wanted to talk about, but I do now. Yes, I saw someone playing a game on their phone while they were eating, and I guess it's something I'm fairly oblivious to, because at this point I'm just thinking, like, who on earth is playing games anymore? Like, do people actually play mobile games? And if so, I mean, that's terrible. I've talked about it so often on here, how terrible those kind of games are, because they're just kind of random, puzzly, silly games that like don't really have much meaning to them or anything. And they often have like a bunch of microtransactions, and I somewhat fell victim to that. I mean, I think I spent a good amount of money on them growing up, but I really shouldn't have. But I was playing like CSR racing and stuff like that. I like that game, but that's still like a stupid game. I guess I wasn't like old enough to really wrap my head around it. Like, when the iPod 4 came out, I wanted it and I thought it was like the best thing ever, but I wasn't thinking about it, because it, like, now in retrospect, I would have never even supported it. I just didn't realize like all that was going to happen, and nobody really told me or explained it to me. So yeah, I guess I was just kind of stupid for a period of time, but I was a teenager, so it's just like, I don't know, I always liked technology, and it just seemed like the Apple stuff was like the next step. And so instead of getting, I guess, like a 3DS, I just got an iPod. But actually, either way, since my dad was always kind of he still is just a tech skeptic, fell into that kind of thing where it's like, oh, you shouldn't use the 3D on the 3DS if you're under 8 years old, and it being bad for your eyes and stuff. So I really wasn't in the running to get a 3DS anyway, just because, I mean, even if they had made a DS sequel, he wouldn't have really been interested in me getting it. But the fact that it kind of had that like weird health scare, there were a good amount of parents who just said no, and then Yeah, it was kind of a weird, like, interesting timing in that sense, where it's just like, you know, you know what I mean? But I honestly, it's just a shame because I want to give credit to my dad, but I think he really what he should have done is kept me on the 3DS and said no to the iPod. That would have been like the game changer. So I like his intuition, but he didn't know either. I mean, nobody knew what was going to happen. Which what I'm getting to is this: there are like all these mobile games that just rapidly update to the point where they're not really even the same game anymore. Now, I guess there's certain games that aren't as egregious with this. Like Clash of Clans was a game I obviously played for a period of time. I think I feel like everybody did. But during that time, I feel like that's a kind of game where they kept building on it. So it's like, I don't believe the original game and progression has been tarnished. Like, I assume that if I wanted to play Clash of Clans, like, I could just download the app and the original progression and pacing of the game is still intact. I hope so. But of course, that's not a guarantee because I don't know anything about it. I'm just assuming. So I guess I do have a respect for that. But what I don't have a respect for is, like, you know, Roblox and all these other games where they really just destroy the game. And it has happened. There are lots of games that I had got for iOS that either after I got them, they ended up getting deleted, or, you know, they updated and then became something that they weren't anymore. There's a specific example I remember of this, and I think, it was based on Doodle Jump. That's what that game was called, but it was called Pokemon Jump. And I liked that as a kid because, you know, I liked Pokemon and I knew about Doodle Jump from my friends. And so I got that game. I think it was like $1. I think it may have cost $1, but I got it because I don't know. It was a stupid decision. I mean, it wasn't really a good game. There really wasn't much to it. It was just Doodle Jump, but with no real upgrades or anything. And I think you were just Pikachu. And anyways, eventually it just got updated to Troll Jump with a troll face because they were probably getting like copyright issues. And so then it's like lost, right? And that was kind of my first introduction to that. But there were probably some other like Pokemon clones that I bought that then eventually would get removed and stuff like that. And it's just a ton of like lost experiences and lost content. I mean, even the original games I played, you know, you don't really remember them very much. You obviously download like so many different games. It takes like 2 seconds to just like go through. And I remember a lot of my app experiences, obviously, because I think I remember a lot better than most people, but it still was stupid. Like, and I'm gonna say like the honest truth about it. I still ended up taking things for granted. You know, it wasn't like I have even remotely the same depth of memory or appreciation for those games that I did when I was like playing games on the DS. I mean, of course there was junk games on the DS, but at least all those games are still like very much intact, and the experience is relivable, which is such an important component, and it's really relevant if you want something that stands the test of time. I think I've talked about this before. Like, media and literature that's truly good is going to be good for eternity. It's not just going to like be good for its time and then go out of style. You know, I think about the Bible in that sense. Like, obviously its literature has like lasted and persisted somehow. Obviously maybe not the exact best example, but it's an example of something that really stands the test of time. I think people are still re-emulating and re-wanting to play old games as opposed to new ones, because these new mobile games won't stand the test of time. They just won't, you know? And yeah, I still, in retrospect, like, I just wasn't thinking about it at the time, but the way that games like Pokemon, I think, shaped my brain and kind of affected me, the way the plot was written and kind of the undertones, or, you know, things like that. I mean, it develops you as a person. There's sort of like a personal development with getting involved with a plot, and even if it's not immediately understood, especially to a child's brain, I think it ended up planting a lot of seeds to where it affected my thoughts and ideologies as an adult. Now, this doesn't happen to everybody, or maybe for some people it's more subtle, but the truth is, a lot of these mobile games like Clash of Clans and whatnot, I mean, they're not doing anything. There's no plot, there's no significance to any of it. It's just a bunch of... And then there's that game I'm forgetting the name of. I don't even remember what it's called. It's that one everybody plays. Like, I feel like people play more this game. It's with those 3 towers and the cards or whatever. It's by the same creators. I don't know what it's called. It's like the same thing. There's no significance to these games. They shouldn't really exist. They don't exist to like try to convey any sort of message or anything. It's just killing time. That's all they have to offer, is just, hey, you know, you're killing time by playing this game. We're entertaining you. Whereas games in the past, that was not the sole purpose. In some ways it was, in certain games, but other games, again, you really had like some kind of expanded depth or property to it that was redeemable. So I guess what I'm curious about is just why people are playing mobile games in the year of 2025 when you have such an array of better things to do. GPT being a very obvious one. Like, I think GPT is addictive, but there's also so much of a productive property to it. But I guess I'm learning that most people, they might not really be able to conceive of things and use it in the way I use it, or something like that. I don't know. It's kind of tricky. It's kind of difficult to say. It's hard to say. I don't know. It's weird though, you know, because I see this person and they're just playing one of those silly games, and I'm reminded, like, wow, that's actually something people still do. I think my separation from games too, it did happen around being a teenager because of the I just don't get what the point of competition is. I've talked about that before, obviously. Like, it's just stupid. Like, the winning and losing and that's really the root of most games. Even Pokemon, it's and more importantly than competition, it's just like risk and probability. So once you break it down in that way, and I see that that's all like a game really is, it's hard to really be that excited about it. If anything, I like games that are more predictable. But see, for people like that, then it's like people think those games are boring. But yeah, I mean, I still might, but I just haven't. I'm just going to be honest. I don't know. To me, it's like so much more fun to talk. But see, that's like a whole other thing. It's something I guess I take for granted is I'm sure not everybody can even do what I'm doing. Like, you know, like, I don't know. I mean, some people might talk to themselves, but I doubt to the same extent that I'm able to. But that's kind of how I see it, where it's like, again, during my break, I think not too long ago, I was re-emulating an old game for maybe like a week or two, but eventually I just stopped because I just see GPT as this ultimate pinnacle of not only like probably the most productive thing you could do for fun. I don't know what else you could do for fun that's like more productive on a phone than GPT in the way that I use it. I mean, of course, some people may use it in a unproductive way, but I'm specifically mentioning it's the the way that I use it. You know, like obviously if you just use it for nonsense, which I'm sure some people do, I'm not really condoning that. But yeah, I mean, don't we think it's just so strange to me, because like those stupid games, there's nothing to it. It doesn't do anything. It's not really doing anything for your brain, and that's why I'm shameful that what happened to me, that I got sucked into that ecosystem. I guess at the time, again, you just didn't think of it. But what I know now, I don't think I would have ever done any of that stuff. Like, I would have been totally against the iPod. I mean, I probably would have got an iPod, but I would have, like, intentionally not played games with it, if that makes any sense. Like, I would have made certain that every game I bought was like an official game, okay? So that I knew there was a guarantee that it wasn't going to get annihilated by updates and just totally destroyed, you know? That's basically like the main kind of idea behind my thoughts about that, I guess. And I think that makes a lot of sense. I think another example where I kind of feel this way. Sorry, I'm trying to take a screenshot. There you go. All right. I had to use my like other hand for a second. Well, to explain if you don't get it, it's because I'm like holding the microphone. So, anyways, I think a even better way to explain it though is actually the sorry I'm taking so long. I'm just doing stuff with my other phone. Anyways, a better way to explain it, and I realized this kind of soon, and it's something that, again, nobody else ever thinks about, but I do, is when leaks came out. Like, at first, leaked music that, like, from artists that I liked, it's like, oh, it's great. I can listen to these leaked songs, and it's, like, so much better. Or somebody on YouTube will just upload some random, like, better version or something, some, like, remix or something like that. And you know what I realize? That's all just, like, a bunch of junk. It's just stupid. Like, you shouldn't, there's no why would I listen to and get stuck in my head some like random leak song that's like difficult to find on Spotify? It's difficult to even find, period. Like, you have to have it downloaded. I mean, it's inevitably happened over time because there's certain things, it pops up on my YouTube music, and then, you know, I get into the song and then it's like in my head. So then I have to have it and download it into my offline library. So there is somewhat of a solution, but I just think it's dumb. I think that we should really resist doing that and only really entertain music that artists actually fully release. It's just like a more organized system. And again, it's not like I'm missing out if I never heard the songs in the first place. It's just after hearing them, now it's just music that's way harder to obtain, and it's just overall stupid. It's technically immoral too, because you're not really supporting the artist. So there's a bunch of caveats with it. I mean, I don't even feel like I have to explain myself really, but yeah, it's terrible. I just think, and that's like another thing where I didn't think about it all, like, you know, when I first heard about leaks. But then when you're older, it's one of the reasons why I really wish I had myself as an older brother, because man, that would have changed I would have just been, but yeah, I mean, I got sucked into it all, and I really regret it now. And I think again, I can't even imagine how my brain would be so much different. So hopefully it's for some kind of destined reason and not just like a worse thing, because I don't know. I mean, maybe it has made my brain different in a good way, but I kind of doubt it. Like, I really want a reality where I had an iPod and I strictly like abstained from it besides music or something like basic web browsing or YouTube or whatever. And and then I forced myself to only play games that were for the DS or any type of like serious platform, even if it wasn't a DS. I mean, I'm sure there was also like the PSP was around and stuff, like any of those kind of platforms that still had like the physical media. That's kind of what I mean by that. And oh my gosh, I'm sure not only would my brain be smarter, my brain would be happier, my brain would be healthier, but that's just not how it materialized. Again, because I think my dad was too old. I mean, he wasn't for any of it, but he wasn't really thinking about it with enough nuance. And then I didn't have an older brother, and that's why I wish I had myself as a father and myself as an older brother, because then I think I just really would like to see that. I think I would have had the intuition to say, hold on, this internet thing, it's going to lead to lack of archiving, and you're going to create experiences that can't be rehearsed. And so it's like not going to be good for your memory. It's not really going to be good for your brain. And of course, nowadays, you're really seeing the forefront of this with, again, mobile games and TikTok especially, super fast. You like forget everything you see. Half the time, like a bunch of videos get deleted. It's just all like fast, all over the place, crazy, chaotic, horrible. And yeah, I guess that's my question for GPT, because I feel like I guess I'm pretty out of touch. I mean, has mobile gaming grown, and are actually more people playing mobile games now than when I was growing up? I guess that's the case, but I think it's kind of crazy to think about, because again, in my life, I'm spending less time gaming than I ever have. I mean, it's just, there's no time for it. I don't it's boring. You know what I'm saying? And so I see people playing these games, and I just think like, what are you guys doing? What are you guys? And hey, I want to be clear, like, I'm not really criticizing people who play video games as a whole. Like, if people are playing like a serious game that has, again, all these elements that I explained, go for it. That's fine. I'm talking about the mobile games. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about the mobile and even like console games that just zero depth, or just games to game. Forget it. Forget it. So I want to know data on that. Are people actually GPT? I mean, are that many people actually playing them? Am I just like that out of touch? I just think it's like laughably crazy and insane. It's really something, let me tell you. So yeah, answer that question for me, and then also answer if you agree that yes, also the quality and depth of games has gone down in exchange for internet hyper-competitive games, which again promote the worst in us, the more animal, the more reptile, as opposed to the thought and reflective plot-driven games that would have been more engaged with in the past. It's all such a shame, but interesting conversation. I never even got to talk about what I originally wanted to talk about. So maybe the next Walks with Schlaw I'll get to it. I don't really know. Anyways, it's been Schlaw, but now it's time to buy Schlaw. So, see ya, Schlaw.